to protect human trafficking victims, as well as banning the use of spice and K2 drugs to protect our kids. I have a 100% attendance record. I've never missed a vote, and I voted against my party or independently from my party over 160 times, mainly in the areas of corporate welfare, which I believe is the wrong direction to go. In closing, and I see that the trap door is not working, but I'll close in that you learn a lot in Lansing, that it's as surely as the sun rises, that there's never enough money to go around to pay for everything that you want. But I can commit to you that I will promote policies and common sense solutions that affect all of our citizens, not just some of them. And I can honestly say that Michigan is better off than it was 4 years ago. But there's no such thing as good enough for hardworking Michigan taxpayers, and so we must not let up. Our bright days here in Michigan are ahead of us, and I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank the Chamber for sponsoring this forum, and thank you for all of your hard work across the Downriver area. Thank you, and God bless.
Announcements, and then if we have time for a few questions, we'll get to those as well. I want to acknowledge candidates Nathan Inks for District 14 and Caroline Paulson from the 21st District who had prior commitments, could not be here today. Once again, I'd like to thank our sponsors for making this possible, and let's give all of our candidates a round of applause. I'd also like to acknowledge any elected officials in the audience today. I see Taylor Mayor Rick Solars is here. Any others? Okay, thank you for being here. No. Representative Geis, please stand up. The next after business hours, the Gangster Speakeasy Party will be hosted by Sharky's in Groseal on Thursday, September 25th from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Mini Expo exhibitor tables are available by calling Marcy Shannon at the Chamber. The Morning Spark, Jumpstart Your Business, Friday, October 10th, will be hosted by Advanced Staffing Solutions from 8 a.m. till 9 in Southgate. Bring a friend and qualify to win a great prize. For more information, contact Marcy. The next legislative forum will again be Meet the Michigan Senate candidates on October 22nd, again here at Crystal Gardens. Actually, it's at October 20th, not the 22nd. Thanks, Sandy. So it's October 20th, and it'll feature the Senate candidates, again here at Thomas Crystal Gardens. And for sponsorship availability on that event, please call Mary Rose at the Chamber. That'll be brought to us by many of our sponsors, including our friends at Special Tree Rehabilitation. And for information about these events and others, you're encouraged to call the Chamber at 284-6000 or visit our website at SWCRC.com. And we have a number of students here, and as I call out your school, if you please stand and be recognized. And also, if you could stay afterwards, we'd like to get your picture taken with our candidates. Our first school is Kennedy High School, sponsored by candidate Kelly Thompson in the 12th District. Melvindale High School, sponsored by Baker College. Southgate Adult and Community, sponsored by Sal DiPasquale. The Academy of Business and Technology, sponsored by Southgate. And Walter Carlson is here with us today, I believe. Walter, here you are. Okay, we'd like to take questions from our students, particularly when we know they're listening. And this one was, Representative Somerville, can you explain what the Tiger Grant is?
Yes.
Yeah, the Tiger Grant is simply a federal grant that goes out to certain projects. You have to apply for it through an application process. So in this case, I know the last couple of years, the city of Woodhaven has applied for this grant through the federal government for particular projects. In this case, it was the grade separation at Allen Road, which of course is an ongoing problem about 30 years in the making. And so what they had applied for was approximately $14.7 million, I believe, for the overall project to get it across the finish line. Where we're at right now, that most people don't know, is you have $10 million from the federal government, 10% of the project is to be picked up by the county, 5% by the railroads. We were able to secure $3 million from the state, and so we're in that $12 to $15 million short. You're looking at about a $30 million project, and so our hopes were to be awarded that grant so that we could finish that project and move it forward, and unfortunately, that is not the case, and we've got a couple options. You can reapply next year for the grant all over again, or we can take a look at other options, whether it be through regional bonding. So those are really our two options at this point, unless we can secure some more state funding, but I don't think we'd be able to get that kind of money to finish off the project. So that's where we're at, but that's what it is. It's a grant given out by the federal government.
For David Hayner, what do you suggest that the private supporters do to support the educational process if charter schools aren't the way to go? What do you suggest that the private supporters do to support the educational process if charter schools aren't the way to go?
So would that be the private supporters, like as in the private businesses? Okay.
That's in any way you want.
Okay, well, that's one of the issues that's going on right now, is that a lot of companies, at one point in time, were doing a lot of job training for skilled trade jobs in-house. And now they're looking at the government to actually pick up that task. You know, and that's one of the things that we want to make sure that we're getting industry experts, businesses, and developers into the schools, so we can say, or into the schools or into programs with them, very similar to apprenticeships you have with different skilled trades. For example, the carpenters, they have a carpenter apprenticeship, ironworkers apprenticeship. Those are the kinds of things that we need to be pushing, and that's from the private sector. So if that's, I'm hoping that's the answer to your question, or are you talking about funding for private schools, or privatizing? Privatizing schools, if they want to do like parochial schools do, then they do that outside of the state structure.
And with that, again, let's thank all of our candidates. Appreciate all of you adhering to the 5-minute time rule, and even Paul Clemente managed to stay on time today. Thanks, Paul. It's tough, Paul. Good job. And with that, if you'd please join me in the pledge as we conclude.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for coming, and have a good day.